listening to Cain and Randy on Scratch the Vinyl.
Scratch the Vinyl.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Scratch the Vinyl. You made it back to the show, and we're so glad that you did. I'm having a great day, and I'm going to tell you why I'm having a great day, because my partner in crime is back with me. It always feels kind of like there's a void out there, when he's not on the show. And I don't know. I just kind of like having him with me as my comfort blanket or whatever. I just love having him. So let's bring him on right now. He's the chill man himself, the king of entertainment out there. You know he is. He is Randy Wilson. Randy, welcome back to the show.
Hey, Cain, how are you doing today, buddy?
Dude, I feel fantastic, man. I mean, we're this side of the dirt. We've got a guest on our hands, and life couldn't be any better, right?
Well, of course, you did an awesome job while I was away. I mean, I had to go do my thing, fighting crime. But, it's good. I got a little rest in there, too, and I needed that. But I still, I still keep up with the show. And man, you killed it. Great interview with Michael Beck. Man, we've just got a lot going on, and we just keep bringing it every week.
So what'd you do out there, Randy? I mean, did you rough up any criminals? Did you did you fight the good fight for mankind? I mean, can you let us in on what the hell you were doing out there?
Well, there were a lot of these little white bowling pins, and I tried knocking a lot of them down. They were avoiding me. It was brutal. I had a rough time.
Well, I like all good things, I look at it like this when it comes to you and bowling. Michael Jordan had bad nights too. I remember watching Michael Jordan every single, and I'm going to compare you as the Jordan of bowling out there. At least Jordans that I know, everybody has a bad day, my friend.
Oh man, it's just, man, it is physically straining anymore on me. I tell you what, I still enjoy it because I go with a lot of friends. It's a great trip. Like I said, it was very relaxing. This is this time of year. Obviously, I've been gone here a couple times here this month, but this is it. I'm done for a few months till next season. This was my finale. So I'm ready to get back on the music train. And, the nice thing about driving, I drove alone, spent a little time in Kansas City. That drive time always gives me lots of time to think about what we're doing. And I came up with some great new ideas for my shows. So I'm gonna implement that in my shows here coming up. I can't wait. Just a little free time to think about some things, and I'm ready.
Well, for those of you keeping score at home who've listened to us since the beginning, there's always this period about now where it seems like, oh, wait, where's Randy? Randy's gone. Well, this is why he's out doing things. And so then you have to hear me blabbing and talking about, the pancakes I made the other day and this, that, and the other thing to fill that time. Because, hey, everybody, it's not easy to fill an hour at time, but somehow I've been given the gift of gab, and we all have, and that's why we're here. So it just sucks when you're not on the show, because I miss you. I always kind of think to myself like, oh, that's like a perfect time where Randy would have asked that question or this and that. So I tried to like play the role of both, but it was easy having a guest like Michael Beck, especially because he's such a pro. And how exciting is that to have a guy who just signed with Warner Music and all of that on the show? He's just got so many big things, and he was just dropping heat on the show. So it's pretty awesome. This show is on a trajectory that I can't even explain to you guys right now. And we owe it all to the listeners out there. So I do want to mention one thing before we bring on our guest, Randy. I had a cool moment with my son. So the Nu Metal Sucks tour came through, and I am a connoisseur of nu metal. And nu metal, for those of you that don't know, is I'd say 97 to 2000 and I don't know, 10 era of metal, the most awesome era. And I got to take my son to see some bands do their 25th anniversary of the albums that they did. And it was Head PE, Spine Shank, and Primer 55. And the cool thing was that he was experiencing it for the first time. And I actually experienced these bands at that exact time with those albums 25 years ago. So it was cool to see that whole full circle moment come to life. And honestly, as my son's trying to be a drummer, it blew his mind. Now he's definitely convinced that he wants to be a professional drummer. So pretty cool stuff.
I was just going to say that full circle moment. We have those on this show. And of course, I was over at the studio, last week, and I did get to hear your son do a little practice on the drums. So I think he's going to do it. I think you got him trained just right.
Well, I've definitely got good company. I've been talking to Brock Wetstead about what can I do and, talking to my old drummers. I've got a lot of people. I've got some aces up my sleeve to get this kid primed and ready to go. So if that's fathering right, then I guess that I've won the battle. There was a long time there, Randy, where he wouldn't listen to music. I'm talking like when he was younger. My other kids are obsessed with it, and he listened to no music. And I was like, whoa, like I'm doing everything wrong with my son because music got me through everything. But could you imagine going through life without listening to music at all? Whew.
I would not be the person I am today. That is for sure. I base almost everything in life at a certain point of some show I went to or what radio station I was listening to or what song got me through a hard time or a heartbreak. Man, none. What was going on in your household?
Well, and then he just exploded. All of a sudden, he wanted to do piano. All of a sudden, he wanted to take lessons, and then he was in band. And now it's just opened up his mind. So he was just a late bloomer to music. Now he's got corn posters on his wall. He's, the kid is basically becoming a mini me, and I love it. Hopefully, he takes up the love of podcasting and the form of radio as well. But if he doesn't, I'll settle for him being a killer drummer.
Well, I did have the opportunity to hang out with him a little bit a couple weeks ago. And let me tell you what, you're doing a great job. He's a fine young man. And if the best drummers are those silent, quiet types that beat the hell out of the drums, then you definitely have a metal warrior on your hands.
That was a fun day. We got to hang out, the three of us. We got to bro out, you, I, and my son, and go to that wedding and do some things. And that was a really fun day that I'll always kind of keep in my mind, Randy. I had a blast with that. But I don't want to waste it too much. I know we only have so much time. So let's not waste the sauce now. We have another full circle moment on our hands. And it's a full circle moment because I've actually known this particular person since they were a little kid off and on. I've known their family. I love them so much. And I've been wanting to talk to this guy, give this guy the rub and bring him on the show and really tell people what I already know is that this guy's awesome. So let's bring him on right now. He is Ben Samp and he is Krimzn Enigma. Ben, how are you doing?
Doing good. Yourself, Cain?
I'm doing good, man. It's great to finally have you on the show. We've had Johnny Bliss on the show, and I know you've had your brush with him.
Yep.
We love talking to him, and we haven't had a ton of rappers, but we've had some rappers on the show, and now we want to give you your day in the sun. We want to talk to you about what the heck brought you to the lunacy of wanting to be a rapper, my friend.
Oh, well, it started out with just writing some music back in 2015 when I was just a teenager myself. And I started with some rock writing and then it transformed into rap music just because it kind of felt like there was a little more, freedom to the writing and whatnot. There's more you can add to it. I like to, rap fast and all that. Really got that inspiration from people like, Tech Nine, Eminem, Hobson. It's just really fun to just rip off those lines just super fast, something that's really dope, really cool. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I can definitely see that in your style. I was blown away. Like when you first put out your first singles and everything. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what we were going to get from this kid. I can just remember you being this little redhead kid, you and your brother, and everything. But to actually see you become a man and kind of do the thing, I was really blown away by it. I had no idea that this was one of your arcs, but I think that it's really cool that it is.
Yeah, I figured it's something pretty unique about myself, something really cool. My first album that I put out was Unknown, and that has my first single on it, In My Head, that, like you said, I had my rub with Johnny Bliss. He's on that. That was the first song I put out. Honestly, he's one of the first people to really help me get out there as an artist. I was in the studio with him and David Youngstees Harrison, and we were getting that song put together and finalized and whatnot. And they were like, what rapper name do you want to go with? I'm thinking Krimzn Enigma. Okay, is that with a K or a C? Huh, that K sounds pretty cool. Let's go with that. So we went with the Krimzn Enigma, Krimzn Enigma.
Well, all the kids are doing it these days, man. I like what they're doing because there's all these artists that are kind of setting themselves apart by kind of doing a different spelling. Some people add, they'll add like a number in instead of in all this. I'm here for it. I think it's cool. I mean, there's only so many names out there. And trust me, I've been in plenty of bands where the first thing you do is you go, what should we name ourselves? And then you dial it into Google or Facebook or whatever, and there's 400 of them. So I think that it's cool that you named yourself that. But I got to ask you, man, you're in the scene, you're part of a different type of scene here in Lincoln. What is the rap scene like here and in Omaha? And how do you feel that it's going so far?
Well, it's definitely an interesting scene for sure. You got a lot of really good artists out there. Like you said, they've got different feng shui on their names and whatnot. There's people like myself with the KRIMZN for Krimzn. I mean, that's just speaking to my hair color here. It's red, so we go Krimzn and then Enigma. It kind of seems like a period joke if you think about it, because it's like red mystery, but we go with Krimzn Enigma because it sounds cooler. You know what I mean? But then you got people like OGI Kid and Makeshift, who are going to be on the Mayflowers show with me here coming up. And they've got some interesting spellings to their stuff too. And I think that that kind of stuff just kind of helps it be unique to you, you know?
Well, I mean, it does make you unique, and it makes you stand out, and that's the thing that you have to do in music. Is it
Agreed.
should be just about the music, but in today's day and age, you have to stand out. You have to do videos. You have to do all these things to set yourself apart. So, has it been hard for you? I mean, I'm not going to do your typical, here's a white guy who raps. I said the same thing to Johnny. To me, that's not interesting anymore because white guys rap and they're very good. I mean, some of my favorite rappers are in new metal bands, right? And they're white
Mhm.
guys. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just an art form. So I'm not going to go there. But how have people received what you've been doing so far?
Pretty well, honestly. I've gotten a lot of good feedback over Facebook, which is where I'm mainly at. I've got a little bit going on IG as well. Anybody that I talk to, that I show my music to, they say that they really like what I got going, but to keep pushing the energy and just, keep really getting that emotion out there and just being more voracious. And that's what I'm working on. And this next album that I got coming out is really going to show that.
So Ben, you were talking about the emotion. Where did some of that come from? What got you into this in the beginning?
Well, with music, you like to write about the things that not only interest you but bother you as well, and so you go to a safe space, which is the pen and the pad, and you start writing some things. You find a really good beat to put it behind, and you just basically you go in and you complain about something in a way where it's like a little elevated maybe from what it actually is, or maybe right at what it is, if it's that extreme. That was one of the pieces of advice that I kind of took from Eminem when seeing one of his videos, was that he liked to, for lack of better terms, blow things out of proportion to really make that song pop. Like his song Kim, he makes it really violent and really just, it draws you like, whoa, that's crazy, but I like it. But that's what I do with a lot of my songs. There's a song called Right Up My Alley, which is it's kind of like a rap metal song where I get to, do a little bit of the growling and grumbling, keep on coming in close, keep on coming to me. And that was a lot of fun to do that song, honestly. And up to that point, it was one of my favorites to make.
Well, you mentioned Eminem, so I got to ask you which camp you're in. There's two camps, and I'm going to tell you what they are right now. The two camps are the ICP camp, and there's the Eminem camp, and those two entities have gone at each other. Maybe it's a Detroit thing, right? Maybe it's a white guys in rap thing, but there's always kind of been two camps, and then there's the people like us who just like all of it. But
Mhm.
if you had to choose which camp you were in, which one would it be and why?
Oh, it would definitely be just the Eminem camp. I got a lot of respect for ICP, because they've done their thing, and I think that the battle between the two has really quelled over the years as the two people have grown, the two groups have grown. But yeah, I've been pretty hardcore Eminem through and through. That was one of my main inspirations for doing music. I mean, he really broke the mold for white people to do rap, if you will. I mean, I hate to look at racial boundaries, but it's really cool the things that he did and the support that he got over the years, the millions of followers, no matter what, color or background they came from. He's just a really inspirational guy. And honestly, his lyricism, the creativity, it's something that is unignorable. It's so fun. Like doing, like even just rapping Rap God is really fun. His songs Elevator and Buffalo Bill off of his Relapse album, they're sick and twisted in the most beautiful way.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's been 50 years now with the rap game. I mean, everybody has a story to tell, and eventually, I mean, that any genre is going to grow, and so it's wide open for everybody, anyways.
Agreed. Yeah, no, it's awesome to see music expand and stuff, and that's just goes with how big the population is and everything. There's always going to be something for somebody, and I'm grateful to be able to put out music that people are willing to listen to, and that really is a true honor.
Well, Eminem was committed to to the culture and being true to the game. Like he didn't take no shortcuts, and he always gave credit to the guys that came before him. He,
Mhm.
he in everything I've ever seen, he just feels blessed to even be part of the game. So
Yep, and you got to be too. You really do, because I mean, not everybody gets to do this and actually find any success. I mean, you really have to push for it, and you have to be able to put together some good music. And of course, like you said, give homage to the people who came before you, and that's what I'm doing with Eminem. And I mean, you got to do that same thing with people like Nas and N.W.A., Dr. Dre, and Ice Cube, even, and beyond that, even. It's just there's so many names to bring up. It's hard to really think of them all, but yeah, no, you can't ignore the people that came before you. I mean, those are basically who made the people of today, because I mean, the people of today listen to what those guys did. And, there's a little bit of flow biting there, but at the end of the day, you're writing your own stuff. That's something that I never really found supportive of myself, was ghostwriters. I can't do it. You know what I mean? So I don't like people like Drake for that particular reason. I don't really listen to them because it's not authentic to them.
I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, I think that's what ghostwriting. I don't necessarily understand, especially in the rap game, because rap is as authentic as it gets, which is why me as a kid, I grew up and I instantly went to rap because I loved the poetry of it all. I loved how brutally honest they were. And then as I became an adult, I really started to appreciate, man, they're telling real stories about real people. It doesn't matter if he has a Glock by his side or not. He lived it and he was around it, right? And he
Hmm.
grew up in that type of thing. And so I just think that the poetry of it all is so amazing to me. But for you, as you're writing, because I think you're a pretty deep guy, which is why you really got to get to know the man to know who they are. But I think just to be able to write some of the lyrics that you've come up with, you're a pretty deep guy. But do you kind of connect with the poetry of it all more than anything?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the lyricism is a big part of it, and the poetry, of course. I mean, you got to be able to put something down that's going to flow really well, something that, sounds beautiful in its own way, even if it's some kind of twisted lyric or, whatever it is, you got to have fun with it. And that's something that I do. I truly enjoy, writing my songs and putting them together, or even just writing a line and there's no song to put it to. It's just like, oh, wow, I wrote that. that's really cool. And I feel like a lot of other rappers, you know, feel the same way about it, or even just writers. You know, you just write something cool and you're like, wow, I that's a really cool idea. Like even just like if you're writing like a story or something like that, or a novel, and you're like writing something that just kind of seems like a really cool plot twist or something, you're like, oh, we can put that in somewhere, you know?
So are you a big notebook guy? Do you carry a notebook with you all the time? Do you use your notes? We like to talk to different artists about when inspiration strikes and when that magical muse that we don't know where they are or why they come to us, but they do, and they drop that specific line that really ignites the whole song. I want to know from you, like how do you let inspiration strike you, and what do you do to keep it so that you don't lose it?
Well, okay, so speaking back on the notebook thing a little bit, I used to do the notebook, and then I kind of switched over to the notes on the phone because it was easier to read off whenever I was recording my music. And I'd always go over to Steez's studio, and he would, you know, he's a great producer, great recorder, and he does a great job with what he does. So huge shout out to him for that. And I don't know if you know Big Fig Williams. He also helps me out. He sends me some really cool beats and whatnot, and we got a really cool brotherhood going on. I'm really thankful to have him in my corner as well, you know. But yeah, whenever it comes to inspiration, I mean, having the people around me that I do definitely helps. Speaking into any like frustrations that I have going on currently or in the past, you know, a little bit of a grudge feel sometimes, you know, but you got to do that so you can really dig into what you're doing with your music and, you know, why you're making it. You got to really mean it too. So that's why I make songs like Selfish Portrait, which is going to be coming out on my new album here soon, Standing on Business, and Doubt Me, that I had featuring King ISO on. These songs are just about, you know, people who have doubted me in the past and have told me, maybe you should just be a ghostwriter because your writing's really good. Okay, that's not good enough for me. I want to be the one rapping this. I want to do it, you know?
Hey, musicians out there, let's talk about Noisel.com for a second. What is Noisel? Noisel is a music app for all of us musicians. That means us grinding it out in the studio, doing what we do. And it is a app where we can get listened to by local audiences as well as people all around the world. So I can tell you from personal experience that I even have my EP on Noisel, and it has been amazing. And it's cool to get the feedback from fellow musicians and local people telling me that they dig one of my songs. And, you know, you can have that too. Nebraska musicians, Noisel needs you now. That's right now, everybody. We need you to dial in, get your music uploaded on there, and get paid. That's right. You actually get paid for the music that you put out. I know that you can be on Spotify and you can be on all these other things, but Noisel is where local musicians can go to really find who's out there. Who, when you're wondering to yourself, are there others out there like me? Are they playing music like me? Like what is there in my area? Well, this will have everything for you. You don't have to be ASCAP certified. You don't have to be certified with BMI. You don't have to be on Spotify. You don't have to have any of that. Upload your music now. Get your music out there to Noisel.com, and I swear to you, you will be satisfied. So get your music out there on Noisel now. There's an app on your phone. You can dial it up on the computer. You can listen to it anywhere. You can take it with you, and you can listen to Nebraska artists now. So join the revolution, everybody, and get on Noisel. Well, that's a huge part of it. I mean, I respect you for that. You don't want to be a ghostwriter. I don't mind writing for people, but I'd rather write for myself. I would rather people kind of figure it out on their own and then ask me for tips, you know, that sort of thing. So I definitely get that, but you know, it has to be said. It has to be kind of spoke because I don't think a lot of musicians talk about their process enough when it comes to this thing. And I think that since we do have a pretty high listenership of musicians, I think it's fun to share this type of stuff. But Randy, I want you to chime in here because you have been writing a plethora of things, even some rap, even some different things. So how has the muse been striking you, especially with your long car trip?
Well, it kind of hit me that I do the same thing. It's like, especially when I have a lot of time alone in the car, I just talk to my, speak the lyrics, into my phone and then keep them. And sometimes I go back and read them like, what was I thinking? But, usually when I'm just kind of clearing my head and driving along, I don't know what it is that hits me, but I'll just come up, just with lines or some basic, you know, baseline to work from. And then I just kind of sing it out, work it out in my head until I get a couple things going. And then I go, oh God, I don't want to forget that. So I put it in my phone and save it to use it later. But it is funny how you just have to, I think it's kind of just, you kind of got to open your mind to what you're thinking about. And I don't know, there's some sort of, I don't know what to call it, vibration, but you get that, it's funny. Don't you get a kind of a melody in your head and you kind of, you're going along and you just like, it hits you. And if you don't put it down, you forget it. It's crazy how it comes in, it can go right back out. And if you don't put it down, it's lost forever. I don't know how many times like, oh, I'll remember that. That's so good. I'll remember that. But if I don't put it down, it's gone. But I always love talking to everybody about their process. And obviously with what you said is you're very committed to what you're doing. Look, you don't want somebody you take these songs and you've made them personal to you. So you want to perform them because you understand the emotion, the meaning behind it. So, kudos to you for sticking to your guns. I know you've been doing this now for a couple years now. You're still just beginning, but as long as you know your path, you just keep going and striving for what you want to achieve.
Yep, I've been doing this since 2021 officially was when I released the very first song, like I said, in my head with Johnny Bliss. That was my first song up in 2021. And then I think it was the year after in 2022 that I released my album Unknown, which is, it's basically just a album cover picture of myself, which I'll go ahead and show you right now, of my, just silhouette face. I'm not trying to do blackface. That's not at all my intention, but just kind of a silhouette face. It kind of exemplifies my introversion that I've been battling to get away from and get out of. And so that was at least a step and a start was, showing off basically what my brand is, which is, well, my hair, because I'm Krimzn. So that was something that really helped me stand out and stick out from the crowd is that. I mean, you could put me, in an airport full of people and you'd probably be able to pick me out just based off my hair.
So is this your way of kind of your music is kind of a version of your alter ego to how you normally are? Or is that how you see it?
I mean, you could put it that way a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm always myself and I don't really switch up or change up too much. I mean, there's that psychological thing with people where, you're different around certain people than you are with others. So like say you're with your mom and you're, really cordial and nice and respectful and stuff, but then you get around your homies and you get a little more raunchy and you're like, F this, F that, and F you, but I love you. You know what I mean? We just like to have a lot of fun with our guys, and I'm sure that the ladies like to do the same thing with their, people as well.
Well, I find for me that, every version of myself was a version that I wanted to be. And so what I did, and this, maybe someday there'll be a case study on me or something, or other people like me, is I've taken every negative, every horrible tragedy in my life, and I have become a different version of myself afterwards. And I don't know if that's growth. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's me trying to separate myself from the trauma of it all, but I've become a different version of myself. So it's an authentic version. It's something that I wanted to be after all of that happened, which is how I kind of got to the point that I am now. That many years ago, before all my heart stuff took place, I wasn't podcasting. I wasn't doing any of this stuff. Then I had my heart scare. I almost died. And, I thought to myself, well, what can I do? What version of myself can I be that I've always wanted to be where I can do it without killing myself? And I got into podcasting. And so that's kind of that's the character that I kind of am in, the arc that I'm in now. So what character would you say you are right now? Or are you just kind of always the same person all the time?
Well, I mean, you can't say that you're always the same person all the time because, like you said, you grow and you change over time through the events that you experience in life that help you really, truly. Just what it is evolve, and that's what I've done is evolve over time, just like any grown man should. Like all three of us can probably agree that we have over time. We go through some stuff that we don't like or really just preferred we not have to go through. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it through a positive lens and just be like, hey, you know what? This is my chance to grow. And the hard times really show you, what you really are and who you really are. And you do come out different and you come out with hopefully a brighter perspective. A lot of people, turn to darkness. And that's something that I kind of like to do is I like to play around with that a little bit and take negative experiences and kind of flip it mentally into, okay, what's the positive that I can take out of this? And then also turn it into music where I can kind of play with it a little bit. So basically, I'm taking that bad experience and I'm making it my toy.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with this was, all the when you kind of want to make these changes or you want to express yourself, is this really what we're doing with music? Are we putting it into the music to help us move forward or for me, remember there was a couple times I wrote some songs basically on how I was feeling because I just needed to get it out. And once I did, I felt 1,000 times better because I was working through something and I didn't know how else to do it. And I found a new creative way by writing songs to do that. And I feel kind of, Cain, you're kind of the same way. You know, I've been fortunate to be around you now for several years, and I've seen your progression in your music and your personality, and it's definitely been a catalyst for you growing as a person, and it comes out in your new music, and I think Ben's saying the same thing that he's been able to tap into that and find a way to express himself through his songs.
Well, let's talk about the expression for a second, or something that we do this now and then. I think this is a perfect episode for this little game that we play sometimes, Randy. We like games. Let's do another little game. Let's play the lyrics game for a second. I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, but are there any, Ben, since you're our guest, are there any lyrics of yours that you can think of that mean so much to you or got you through it all that you'd be willing to share with us?
Oh, let me think here for just 2 seconds. So looking back onto my album here with so I guess there's a song Wash Away that is essentially about just, not necessarily letting things slide, but like just not letting it take effect on you to the point where it's got control of you. So it's give me a second and I can go and try and find the line here for us so that way it's a little easier for me to really note this about. The hook essentially it just goes, hey, let it wash away. Let's all just relax today. Hey, let it wash away. We can all just sit back, okay. And what that essentially is just me trying to tell myself to, relax a little bit, take a chill pill, and realize that, even a bad experience doesn't have to, ruin your whole day or your whole life or anything like that. You don't have to flip out over every little thing that goes wrong. You take a step back, maybe go to a rage room if you got to let out some of that steam. But yeah, that's probably one of my more favorite songs in the sense of importance to myself for sure. And just as well as Doubt Me too. Krimzn made a move words of years ago disprove sure can write and I can spit too flows that bite a viper with true fangs. Oh dang, a bit strange with it came a bit of pain, but a whisper saying it give game. Baby steps Bob, god dang. So I say that baby steps Bob because we like What About Bob? That's a good movie for sure. I like that. That was something I like to reference there. But yep, that was something that I wrote to basically say, hey, you're taking a big leap right here. So, I mean, you say the baby steps, Bob. God dang, I'm saying that more satirically than anything, because I mean, you got to sometimes take your big leaps too. You know, baby steps for sure, but big leaps too.
Dude, this is like a big therapy session. I love this. I love this type of thing. Just saying it out to the world and really hearing it. Randy, I'm kind of interested in you. I mean, I don't mean to put you on the spot. There's got to be a lyric somewhere in that mind of yours that really gets
No,
you through.
nope, I got one because I was working on a song for a reason, and um, this was kind of about the how do I want to put it? The When you really love someone and you don't know if that transcends back to you. And I'd been working on and the baseline to it was, would it even matter if I loved you till I die?
Oof,
And
that's a line.
and I mean I put down about 4 hard verses to that, and but it was basically describing the buildup to that emotion. But in the end, does it even matter? Would you even notice if I was gone? And so there you go. That's the one I've been working on, Cain.
And it reminds me a little bit of a Chester Bennington vibe there, a little bit, Linkin Park.
Absolutely, man. One of the best to do it. When you think about Chester and what he was going through, and then what eventually happened, you wonder to yourself, man, what wasn't he crying for help the whole time? And we just, and that's the sad part of the great thing, and the sad part about music is that here's somebody who rose to such a high level, and he'd been screaming it to everybody, how he felt all those years, and then unfortunately, it overcame him, and that's hard. That's a hard thing. I have a lyric from one of my songs called Ghost, and people would probably think, oh, well, he's into the paranormal, but it has nothing to do with I'm the ghost in the song. And so the line that I have is, I walk at night so you don't see me, in a crowded room I feel most alone. And that's just I mean, that's so true to like me as a musician all these years. When I played to some pretty big rooms, I played to small rooms, but you play to strangers and there'd be a packed room, and for some reason I always get this lonely feeling. And I'll bet, I know, Randy, you understand it too, because you're an entertainer as well as you. But and the more you do these gigs, the more you'll understand. Sometimes when the party's going on, it feels great, but at the end of the night, everybody goes home. It's just you. You had this crowded room, but you were alone. So that's why I wrote that one, and that's something that I think about a lot with my interactions with people. And so, if any of this conversation, here's a PSA for you guys. If any of this conversation helps you guys to get your feelings out there so that you don't end up feeling like Chester Bennington did, or some of these guys, I think that this helps. So I don't know. I really do applaud you guys for helping me with my little dirty little games here. This is one of my favorites. The lyrics game never gets old to me. So I'm just so glad we could share lyrics together. But we do only have so much time. And I definitely do want to talk about some of the things that you've done and some of the things that you're going to be doing. But my question to you, Ben, is what the hell is Glizzyfest? And tell us about what that was all about.
Well, the Glizzyfest, and now isn't that just one of the funniest little names you've ever heard for a show? Oh, it started last year, and I attended that as a fan to go and show some support for Justin Strawstone, who puts these things together with Nice Enough Entertainment. He's an Omaha promoter. He's a really good dude, and so what he did was he took a really big chance with Glizzyfest that he sets up over at the Reverb Lounge in the waiting room. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on this, but I think this is the first year that he actually did it with both of those venues, which they have a connecting room, so you can easily, go between them and check out both stages, all the acts and all that. But he got me set up in the waiting room this year. And so what Glizzyfest is it's a hot dog mixed rap core music vibe. So, I mean, there were different, vibes going on besides just rap music, but that was the main thing, a lot of stuff going on there with that. And it was a lot of fun to perform at that stage. It was the first time for me to perform in Omaha. So a huge step for me as well, got those big steps going. I really appreciate and commend Justin Strawstone for putting me on the stage, because he didn't have to do that. You know, he's got a lot of people in his ear telling him, "Hey, get me on stage. I want to do this. I want to do that." And I'm sure everybody does, but at the end of the day, only so many people can get on, and he really did try. You know, he tries so hard for all of his people, and he's got a lot of them. He's got a huge support system, and sometimes, you know, it's hard to realize how big your support system is when, you know, you really do feel alone. But when with the whole Glizzyfest part, he's got this hot dog cart going. So Decent Dogs is what it's called. And most of the time it's his wife running it, because he's, you know, busy doing a whole bunch of other stuff, you know, coordinating with the DJs, the artists, and anything else he needs to do. So they'll have a whole bunch of different hot dogs for you to, you know, get. So you get your regular hot dogs, your pizza dogs, chili dogs, and what have you. It's a fun time going out there and stuff, because I mean, I even got a t-shirt from him that's standing on Glizness, which kind of coincided a little bit with my standing on business. It was kind of funny to mix those two together, like on stage and for promotion on Facebook and whatnot. I would, you know, say stand on Glizness, get your tickets, you know, whatever it's got to be, you know, because it's a lot of fun doing what you do, and sometimes it's got to be silly, you know. That's another way to make it stick out. You know, it's about being unique, and that really hit home with that.
Well, I thought it was a cool idea. How was it performing there? I mean, how did everything go? Did you feel like everything was good? Were there any things you would change? How did it all go for you?
It was a lot of fun performing out there. It really was. I was the second person on stage. The first guy was a guitarist and singer who didn't do anything rap, of course. It was just his guitar and him on the stage and the microphone, and it was really good listening to him before I jumped up onto stage. His name was, I think, Tyler Teetsort or something like that. But anyway, he was really good when he was up there, and then when I finally hit up the stage, the introduction was really, you know, a warm welcome. It was a lot of fun. And when I got up on stage, I got to perform with Drama the Artist, who we have a song together called Drop Dead Dope. DDD is what it's actually titled. But that was what we opened it up with. I got permission from Strawstone to do an extra couple of minutes from my 15-minute set, so I could perform that and then also perform my regular set and get it all together. We had about 5 minute in between intervals between each set, so that kind of helped that a little bit. But it was a lot of fun to perform and show off some unreleased music. The first song I opened up with was called "The Golden God," or just "Golden God," which is, if you've seen "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia," it's a play off of that, as well as, you know, people with God complexes. So it was just kind of, you know, making fun of them a little bit like that, and just kind of telling the world that I'm kind of satirical.
Well, you mentioned an album coming up and some things happening. So can you give us an idea or a glimpse into what's happening, and just kind of tell us if you have any performances coming up? Let's give the audience an idea of what you have going on.
All right. So, with that whole Golden God thing, I actually do have an album coming out called The Rise and the Wrath of the Golden God. Honestly, I wish I could pull up the album cover right now. I'm too technologically inept to do that. But anyway, I have that saved in my photos right now. It's basically it's a picture of me with, you know, my arms out, and I've got the whole roar looking thing going on with the white shirt and some white pants on, and it's unbuttoned and everything, so it's showing off my chest a little bit, my bony ass. It's it was a lot of fun to get it put together. Drama the Artist did the photo shoot with me over at the Lincoln Zoo up on that cubic water fountain thing I'm sure you've seen. But that's where we went and did that photo shoot. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, putting that album together has been about a year-long process. It's been quite a bit of fun. I think I got about, 11, 12 songs that are going to be going on it. I got one more that I want to write for it just before I release it, that I want to call Bone and Blood, because I have a shirt that I made that says, we're all bone and blood," right here. And what that is essentially, that's a reminder that, you know, we're all just human, we're all just people. and we got to, find some kind of common ground and a little bit of love, especially in this place where, I mean, the political battlefield, which we don't need to get into that, is just, it's too heated. It's too much. And people are, dying, and that's not okay. People are losing friends and family for more reasons than that. Even it's just, we shouldn't have, differences that cutting.
Well, Ben, we find that music does usually bring people back together. So if nothing else, you're doing your part maybe to help bridge that divide. And I was just gonna say, hey, as soon as you get that album or you want to promote that on the Scratch the Vinyl page, you're more than welcome. Send that to me or Cain, and we'll be glad to post that out for you too. Keep us posted, and we'll help promote it as well for you, my friend.
You bet. I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys getting me on the show even today. I didn't expect it at all, but when I hit up Cain and he asked me if I wanted to come on and do a little promotion, well, of course, yeah, that's awesome. It's great to get in with a family friend and, really make a collaboration work out.
And if you want, why don't we take this opportunity for you to, to give out your socials or whatever ways people can find you and find that new album and start to connect with your music.
Of course, yeah. You can find me on Facebook. That's where I'm mainly at. I'm on IG as well as Krimzn 47, KRIMZN number 4, number 7. No spaces, no caps. On Facebook, I'm Ben Samp, BENSAMP, and my cover photo is that of a St. Bernard dog in the snow. It will always be that. He was one of my greatest dogs out of the trio. His name was Bear. The other two were Nala and Abby. Nala was also a St. Bernard, and the other one I think was a German Shepherd. But yeah, they were great dogs and really just amazing and an instrumental piece of my life. So yeah, that's what my cover photo is and always will be. I also use the background photo thing to promote my music and whatnot. So you'll see currently the Mayflowers flyer up on my stuff. If you want to follow my page, Krimzn Enigma, which I'm attached to, it's KRIMZN Enigma. 6 letters, 2 words. It's got a white picture with, just plain white with red K.E. and then my name under it, Krimzn Enigma. But I post as much as I can on there to try and promote myself. And I will be showing my album up on there really soon, or at least the cover art. And I am on all streaming services, Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, what have you. But yeah, I'm out there. Easy to find as long as you type in my full name. Otherwise, it brings up a whole bunch of other stuff.
Well, Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. I think I even brought it up whenever we went to Villisca to investigate. I was like, that was like the beginning of this show. I was like, man, I got like a music show. It'd be cool if you came on sometime. And now it's actually happening. So we made it happen. We made it happen. It's a blast, man. Shout out to Jess and Carrie. I know you're going to listen. And just know that I love you guys all as a family, and you guys always be family to me. So, and for the rest of you guys, for the Scratch the Vinyl family, you guys keep tuning in every week. We need all the Scratch-a-mania out there running wild, muscles bulging, and ready to go for the next episode. So tune in every week. We do it every week here on Scratch the Vinyl. Scratch the Vinyl.